There you go, Lee. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Steve. And folks, you can say this with me. You all know it. You should have it memorized. If you don't, this is your chance to start. I am part of a growing team of entrepreneurs with a shared mission to protect and empower 2 million families and small businesses with Legal Shield's network of law firms and world-class identity theft services. What we do matters, and we are looking for help. Thanks, Steve. Back to you.
Actually, I believe we go back to Annette.
I am going to take it from here. Thank you, Steve, for all that music. You were in rare form tonight with all those different themes. And thank you, Lee Perry. It was only fitting to have you do that after you and Danny did such a great job. So our Zoom committee this quarter is myself and Steve and Linda Beck. And we have all sorts of exciting plans. Our overall theme is going to be a 90-day run. And we plan on bringing up topics that are going to help us accomplish that run. And even if you're not doing that, it's okay. We're going to have some really great topics to help your business. We're going to have book reviews, special training by guest speakers, motivational moments, stories, recognition. And more thanks to Jane Lehman, Phyllis Martins, and Matt Miller for already agreeing to coordinate certain segments coming up on our Zooms. So let's get going. First up is the book review. And who else would we ask to do that but Jane Lehman? Jane, you're on.
Hey there, and I'm going to take off my screen share because I am so excited about what I've got going on here. We're going to be reviewing, and I've reached out to a whole bunch of people that were on the team Zoom with John Drennan, but we're going to go through all different kinds of books. We're going to go through books like Lynn Schussler Williams' 9 Little Words from people that we know. How about The Tao of Network Marketing, John Drennan? Or Darcy Hoffman, we're going to hear about that tonight. But what about Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers? And everybody that joins Legal Shield should read the Legal Shield story, the prepaid legal story, right? We're embracing prepaid legal services. And I think that's an awesome thing that we're going back to. Sorry, John, I had to say that. Then we're going to review books that are not about business. We'll be reviewing books like The Untethered Soul. If you haven't read that, it's an amazing book by Michael Singer. Or what about The Four Agreements? Some of these books are small. That's a short read, but it's a powerful, powerful book. Another one is The Go-Giver. Go-Giver, I think many of you have read that by Bob, but we all know Bob Berg. He was at our convention, but he also mentions, whenever you mention Bob Berg, he makes sure to say, well, John David Mann wrote it too, right? And then we've got the business books like The Slight Edge. Many of us remember getting this book at a convention, and you'll see people in here that you know. Me. Sorry, I had to say that. The 12-week year. Do any of you know about the 12-week year? I'm just reading this and it's a powerful book. 12 weeks is basically 90 days. And it's kind of like talking about 90-day runs, which we're all doing right now, right? John Drennan has often mentioned Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Amazing book. We need to know our why. What about The Way We Work? Atomic Habits or Deep Work? These are all powerful books. I don't know what books, the people that I've reached out to. Oh, here's one I forgot. She's sitting right there. Lorna Rasmussen, The Absolute Best Way for Women to Make Money. These are books that we all need to read. They need to be in our libraries. I've reached out to about a dozen people that I'm going to be hearing from. Anybody on here, if you didn't get an email from me and you would like to review a book, shoot me an email or I'll put my phone number in the chat. But let's talk. We want engagement here. So each week, someone's going to take 5 minutes. Of course, you can't do a full book review in 5 minutes, right? But you can take 5 minutes to really build a story for why someone would want to read a book. Make them excited about ordering that book and getting it. And maybe read a book together with your workout partner. So with that, we're going to get this year started really strong. Back to you, Annette.
Well, thank you so much, Jane. I'm really looking forward to these book reviews. Now we are going to actually go out to stories, and we have Linda Beck coordinating our stories tonight. Linda, you're on.
Thank you, Annette. Yep, it's story time. My name is Linda Beck. I live in Morris, Illinois, and my background is mortgage underwriting. We all know the importance of stories. Stories are how we share the incredible impact our services have on the lives of our members. We've heard it before, see the people and tell the story. They motivate us, help us see how we make a difference, help us make connections with our prospects. And they are especially important because you can borrow these stories you are about to hear, no matter if you are new or have been around for a while. So pay attention to how the story is told, who told it, and their background. You might even be able to have a three-way call with one of the story givers tonight. And first, both of our stories tonight are from Michigan. And first up, we're going to go out to John Bradley. He has a how the system works story. Go ahead, John. You're muted.
Sorry about that. The host muted me. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. And thank you, Linda. Most of us are aware of the new features of the Legal Shield app, and I have an example of the recent utilization of the app. A Michigan member decided on a Thursday to begin the process of getting her will done via the app. However, she didn't want the consultation until the following Tuesday, and she selected the time frame between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. rather than doing it on the next day. She also agreed to receive text messages about this matter. Once the consultation was scheduled, she immediately received an email confirmation for the consultation, complete with an intake and reference number and a link to download the will questionnaire. Along with this were suggested areas of focus when completing the will questionnaire. She was pleasantly surprised when she received a text message at 10:50 a.m. on that following Tuesday, indicating that an attorney from Powers Chapman, our provider firm here in Michigan, would be contacting her soon. The attorney called her at 11:10 a.m. to discuss the will questionnaire, and she was very satisfied with the entire process and the outcome. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, John. That's a great story. And it's good to know that the system and the app information works well. And next up, we're going to go out to Carol Escher. She has a story of a couple that were using the service while they were traveling. Go ahead, Carol.
Good evening, Carol Escher, Gregory, Michigan, real estate investor. And my story is a story within a story. I met a couple in my network group. The husband had just recently retired and was joining his wife's bookkeeping business. Over the next year and a half, we got to know each other's business. And I even gave them a referral from another networker. Their story is they sold their house in Michigan and bought a truck, a camper trailer, and a smart car to travel the United States while doing their business. I gave them two scenarios: the family plan with a business supplement or the small business plan. They chose the family plan with a business supplement and signed up in South Dakota. That shows you the flexibility of Legal Shield. And I enjoyed helping them with their dreams. And thank you for letting me share my story.
That's an awesome story. Thank you, Carol. And it's so good, like I said, to hear these stories so we can use these stories as we talk to our prospects. If anyone does have a story for the future, please let me know. I'll put my contact information in the chat. And now we're going back to Annette.
Thank you. Those were great stories. So now comes the exciting time of our Zoom tonight. For our speaker. One of the highlights of my last month was actually arranging for tonight's speaker. And this lady is so accomplished and so well respected. I must say, I was a little bit intimidated to call her to ask her to speak, but she said yes. Author of Success Habits at Work, she and her husband lead our Shield Nation team. They are $800,000 ring earners. Their mission is to create wealth by empowering and protecting people. So I now turn the Zoom room over to Dr. Darcy Hoffman.
It's great to be on the call with Success Partners. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about 2022. It's time for habits, right? The new year with something different from last year. It's really good, and that's what it's all about. And that's why I'm all excited to be hosting, Szobar. So I've written a book, a very simple workbook, not really a book, but workbook, and it's basic, but it's full of a lot of principles that actually work. Change a principle. A principle is always going to be this, meaning you have to see the people and tell the story. There's no shortcut, there's no. That is a principle, but if you succeed, habit, and the habit is maybe I have more effectively or things like that. So there's a big principle. So first we find the principle, because you can't cheat. Like I'm planting a seed and I want to grow a tomato, but I don't water it, I don't put it in the right kind of sun. Is that you grow that tomato and that by the middle of the summer, what in all of the ways to grow a successful tomato plant did I miss? What habits did I not? Oh, I didn't know you needed to have some.
Darcy, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your sound is breaking up a bit.
It too much. So all of those things are what what I want to do about, and I just have 10 minutes, so I'm going to go over a few simple things. Share a slide and talk to you about a few key principles so you go away with. See that screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
But we can't hear her, Annette.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Darcy.
Which screen? Which way am I looking?
Anyway, we see the picture of you. There we go. Purpose of the workbook.
Is this okay? Well, the purpose of the workbook. There's 7 chapters, and the first chapter is just about setting goals. Everybody hears about goal planning, and that everybody knows what they're talking about there. But I want to tell you that goals help you plan progress, but habits help you make progress. And there's a little trick about goals, because goals actually make you think you're accomplishing something because you spent all this time and you wrote all these goals. And goals don't necessarily mean you're going to achieve. So it's if I'm in the driveway and I want to go to New York and I put in the GPS, that's the plan. That's my goal. I want to go to New York. Go in the car, turn left, turn right, get on this highway, do this thing, at my destination, even though my goal was to get to New York. So the goal is just the kind of where I'm heading. The habits are the to get there. All right, so that's the thing. First, plan. The second big thing is control. I think a lot of times I wish you would have done that. If they would have just done that, if they would have came out with this, or a better regional director, or if we would have more, there's a lot of things that he is looking outward for. So if there's anything that I've done, that what do I control? That I can look in the mirror and I can say I'm responsible for the success. And yes, you gotta, like this is so incredible. An incredible team of people that all of you work so well together, which is amazing. And that's what's fun about this business. Yet on the success that this to your name. So on the business side of things, you need to look in the mirror. You need to say, what am I in control of? So first make your plan. Presentations you're making, not the calls, because let's say you make 10 calls and nobody answers. So you only need 10 calls. Well, it's really not about the calls, it's about the presentation. So when you're setting up 2022, make sure you're like, what really is the key to this business or help the people I want to help? All right, and then you also control your attitude. So in this 7-week training, going and thinking more than anything else. So you have to control those things. And I'm going to talk about, I think a lot of people have all these habits. How many people have set boom, or said I'm going to make 3 calls a day, and maybe you did it for a week, but by week you didn't. So what is going on with all those things? And then
Darcy, we lost you again.
hear me? Oh,
Now we can, but you keep breaking up.
at all?
Try it again.
Can you hear me? Wow. Let me open my door. Maybe my internet's not coming through. That doesn't make sense. So I can't see anybody live right now. Am I by myself on this call?
You are still on. We have everybody's camera muted.
Okay, all right. Well, let me share that again then. Can you hear you good? You can't hear me good?
We can hear you. It's just you keep breaking up on occasion. Then all of a sudden the screen freezes.
Wow.
I think
Okay.
we're having internet problems.
Well, I've had a hard time listening to everybody. Kind of back to that. So anyways, controlling what you can is my internet connection is unstable. So I'll keep going. The next thing is apply. A lot of times you plan, you understand what you control, but you don't, there's no application, meaning I'm going to make these calls, but you don't actually make them. I'm going to ask more questions when I'm talking with people, but you end up talking too much and not asking questions. So you're not applying the habit. And the only way to plan, and then you control, you set up your calendar, you set up your system of habits, and then you apply it. You have to apply application on a daily basis is key. Thinking. The next chapter is about thinking. Think about how you think. So most of the time I'm going to be spending thinking of things, and then overcoming. How many people need to overcome these walls that you hit, and then the final thing is sustaining. So when I'm going about success for something, not interested in just getting through to do on a daily basis. My goal is always to create a new normal. So that you're after a new normal. So in the new normal, these are the 5 areas to work on. Think about 2021. Did you have your priority management is? Like, I work with people and some of them are super good. They think time management's everything, but they'll be doing, and if there's a priority A being the top priority, B and a C, they're doing all their C priorities doing the most urgent and important priorities. So they're lacking priority management. So you have all these classes for time management, but there's not classes for priority management. So think about that. If there was one activity you did to any basis that would increase your success, what is that one? It's not going to be filing papers or watching a YouTube, a task. If you're out there seeing the people telling the story, being, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, two people going out calling on people, and you're increasing your skill set, that's going to be what's important. Then there's time management, with most people know what that is. Emotional. One topic in this next 7-week session. Because emotional intelligence is more important than even IQ. They call it IQ, but even Harvard University, all of the papers are coming out, emotional intelligence. Literally, I just watched a documentary last night on Marty, what's his last name? But anyways, he's a professional time writer. Andy Roddick, him and Marty Fish. And so he became the top tennis player in the United States, went to the New York, what is that called? The US Open, literally was in the semifinals of the US Open and emotionally broke down. Could not, he left, he was playing against Federer, I believe, or Nadal, one of the two, and he completely had to leave the US Open because emotionally, he had every skill set, cardiovascular excellence. He was, you can imagine, he ate perfectly. Nothing, no bad food, no junk food, no nothing. He mastered everything but one area, and that was emotional intelligence. So he lost his emotions, control of his emotions, and he literally had to step out. Incredible documentary called, what is the name of that? Anyways, I'll have to send it to you if you want to know, email me. Decision management, making a decision to do or not do something, boom, on the moment, in the moment of action. And I think you've all heard the story where I was on I looked in a newspaper, and there was this successful network marketer that had 100,000 people that they recruited in 8 months. And I thought, well, that would be a good person to talk to, right? So I thought, why don't I call him? But what am I going to even say? So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick up the phone before I even think, and I'm going to take action. I'm going to take action and call the person. They ended up, what I said, I don't know. I took action because I'm more important to me is to take action than to be perfect. And so action always wins over time. And so this particular person actually came in our business, and the Cohen brothers, Jerry, who have been with us, Bob and Jerry Cohen, for 20 years, are a result of that one phone call where I had made the decision to pick up the phone, that no matter what, even if they hung up the phone on me, because they did not know me at the time. And so that's decision management, taking action without thinking too much and getting frozen. So that's what we're going to talk about. And then, of course, these things are pivot points throughout your habits as you go into 2021. And then let's see, what time is it? So then this is kind of a wrap up. You've seen me in this training before, but everybody wants results, and whatever you have in your business right now, present state. So you're a director, you're a senior associate, you are a executive director, you're doing X number of premium dollars a month. So whatever that is, you want to possibly increase it. I don't know what your particular habit work on this year or your goals for 2022, but your results are your present state. So how did you get to your results? And that is by your actions and behaviors. You took an action, or you had a behavior that produced what you have today. Going back to the plant, I had an action. I planted a tomato plant, but maybe I didn't want. So produced no tomatoes. Okay, so the result was I didn't have any tomatoes on my plant. So then you kind of go back in the legal world and you say, well, what are the actions and behaviors? What drives them? And that is a choice. You have to go this way or this way or this way, hour by hour, day by day, by month, to produce the actions. These choices, this is decision, create the action that creates the present state you're in right now. So choices, and that's because of your feelings and attitudes. That's emotional management piece. What is, people, their feelings are like frozen, or their head starts saying, nobody wants to hear from me. Nobody's gonna want to be in my business. What do I have to offer? I'm not good enough. So after all that in my mind, I shut down my actions because of my emotion and my choice. Read a little bit more about the product or go watch a video. And so now my present state, that's what I did for growing my business. And I justified because I said, if I learn more, I'm going to be better. So, but that's what I did the previous day and the previous week and the previous month. So I really have to get handle of my emotions. So this is a part back here that is really messing up my success, because feelings are making me choose possibly the wrong choice. That is my end result. So then what is happening? These from your programming, what you believe in yourself, what you believe about the team, what you believe people will think of you. A lot of programming and belief systems is determining your attitude and feelings, which creates your choice, actions, and then your present state. So to me, this is the most important because it's a root issue. And so what happens is everybody only looks down here. What you can't see is the habits. And when you look at this tennis player I was talking about, Marty, M-A-R-D-Y, by the way, is his name. And he's the top guy, #1 in the United States. He's got the best habits. The emotional, what was happening emotionally. And actually what was his coaches said, just shove all your emotions down, shove it, just get over it, like just push on, just keep going. And that was the training until he cracked. Okay, so what is the reality of putting all that together? Your results that you today are things, it's your present state, it's the check you're getting in the mail, it's the last year or will be getting for 2021. And all of that, the actions in your present state, your position in the company, the number of premium dollars you've done in the compared to 2020 versus 2021, all of those are results. The issue is what's going on down here is your mind, your emotions, and your will, the choices that you're making. Or to pick up the phone or not, talk to somebody or not, approach somebody or don't, do a presentation or not, get on this call, this training call or not, and so all of those things are what I just wanted to share with the key in 2020 off. Look in this area, these 3 areas about why or why not I achieving the result I want. So back to you. Hopefully you heard that.
Thank you so much, Darcy. Yes, I think you were breaking up a lot, but the key here is habits are such a foundation. And this is a great time of year to start new habits. And I think Mother Nature, in having some storms in Tennessee and breaking up the internet connection, was giving us a clue that for those of us who already have that book, we need to reread it. And for those who don't, we probably should buy it. And Darcy also has a 7-week course starting on Friday, all about habits. So you should have all received an email. If not, we'll post something on the Team Ascent Facebook page. So you can get involved with that. Thank you again so much, Darcy.
Thank you.
Now let's go and finish off with a motivational moment from Phyllis Martins. Phyllis, you're on.
Thank you. We've listened to Darcy talk about habits, and any time is a good time for a new habit. But we think around New Year's that everybody's doing resolutions. So let's think about how we can turn our resolutions into a habit. A habit requires a change in our behavior. A resolution does not necessarily require that change. Habits determine our success. John Maxwell said, "I can predict the long-term outcome of your success if you show me your daily habits." Back to you.
Well, that was a very fitting quote. Thank you, Phyllis. And now, how else would we end our weekly Zoom with a video by Steve Beck? So Steve, let's go.